Okay, bachcho, we are going to start a topic about the limited companies today. First, we'll try to understand what are the limited companies. Limited companies are incorporated businesses. We speak a term for them, incorporated. Generally, when we say a business is incorporated, we want to say that business has a separate legal identity. Business has a separate legal identity. This is a specific characteristic for the being incorporated. But when we say company is limited company, it is identified by three characteristics. तीन चीजें ऐसी हैं जो company को limited बनाती हैं. Number one, limited liability. We talked about unlimited liability yesterday. Limited liability, we'll talk about what is limited liability. Second, legal personality. And the third is continuity, and we'll talk about them. ये तीनों जो हैं एक एक करके कि ये क्या होती हैं. Let's start with the limited liability. The only liability or potential loss a shareholder has, I mean the business owner, we'll talk about the shareholders too. A shareholder has, if the company fails, is the amount invested in the company. Is the amount invested in the company. Not the total wealth of the shareholders. Not the total wealth of the shareholder. We can also define the limited liability as the liability of the owner is only limited to the amount he has invested into business. इसका मतलब ये बच्चों कि कल मैंने आपको बताया दो तरह के बिजनेसेस हैं. एक वो हैं कि जो सोल ट्रेडर पार्टनरशिप टाइप हैं जिनको हम अनइनकॉर्पोरेटेड बिजनेसेस भी कहते हैं. दोज बिजनेसेस अनइनकॉर्पोरेटेड जो हैं उनमें ओनर और जो बिजनेस है उनकी कोई सेपरेट लीगल आइडेंटिटीज नहीं है. Owner and business are considered one and same thing. As a result of that, if business faces some losses and business has to pay something, owner will have to pay even by selling his own assets. But the second type of businesses are the limited companies in which the owners, I mean the shareholders, have the limited liability. If business faces some losses or business has to pay someone, to a supplier or to a bank, the business will pay it by selling business's asset, the plant and machinery of the building, of the business, the building of the business, or any assets that business has. The personal assets of the owner cannot be taken to repay any kind of loan or to repay any kind of loan or to repay any kind of payment. तो ये है the concept of limited liability. This is the first characteristic of limited companies. और ये characteristics दोनों की है. Either it's a private limited company or a public. We'll talk about those भी separately. अच्छा, दूसरी जो characteristic है वो है separate legal identity.
पेपर नहीं देना दीपा. ऑनलाइन क्लास ऑनलाइन देते हैं बिजनेस के साथ.
means the owner and the business are considered two separate legal identities. It further extends to something I'll explain it to. The owner and business are considered two separate legal identities. इसका क्या मतलब है? The business is considered as a separate legal identity. Business is considered as a legal person. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि business can make all the contracts at its own. Business can purchase assets at its own. Business can take loan as its own. Business can purchase raw materials. Business can do contract with the suppliers. No, what this will result in? This will result in the limited liability, because business has purchased something, so business will be responsible for that. Owners are separate legal identity. Yes, directors are making the decision making of the business, लेकिन ओनर जो है उनके पर्सनल एसेट सारे काम में इन्वॉल्व नहीं है, वो सेपरेट लीगल आइडेंटिटीज कंसीडर होते हैं. तो बिजनेस की डिसीजन मेकिंग की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी बिजनेस के ऊपर ही है, इसलिए बिजनेस ने ही सारे लोन्स पे करने होते हैं. एंड थर्ड इज कॉन्टिन्यूटी. इफ द ओनर्स एक्सपायर, द बिजनेस विल कंटिन्यू टू ऑपरेट. If the owners expire, business will continue to operate. In the case of sole trade and partnership, we studied yesterday that business won't continue to operate, and if someone want to continue, he will have to use another name for that. But in the case of limited companies, business can continue to operate. Okay, there are a few things that we need to study, that the terms that we used again and again here. One is shareholders. In the case of limited companies, shareholders are the people or even institutes who owns shares in a limited company. Shares in a limited company. And what is share? Generally, it's a piece of paper, but let me explain it. Share is a certificate confirming. There is a certificate confirming the part ownership of a company. तो किसी के पास 10% शेयर्स होंगे तो उसकी 10% ओनरशिप होगी कंपनी में. This entitles the shareholders to receive dividends. Dividend is the part of profit of the investment from the public limited company. And certain shareholders' rights. Okay. Summing up all this, what I said, that limited companies are different from the sole trader and the partnership because they are called incorporated businesses. They are called incorporated businesses. It means that they have separate legal identity. Then I said that there are three characteristics for the public limited companies. First characteristic is limited liability, that the owner's liability is only limited to the amount he has invested into the business. Secondly, I said that what does we mean from the legal personality, and said that businesses are considered recognized in law as the separate legal identities. They can make contracts at their own. So if something is sold to business, business is responsible for that. The owners are not responsible directly for that. And third characteristic I told you was the continuity. I told you that in the case of expiry or the death of the owners, the business does not get dissolved. The business will continue to operate, and all this happens because the ownership can be transferred in inheritance to the next party, and they can continue to operate with the business. Then I said that who is the shareholder of the company and who are the what are called the shares of the company.